Hello, this is Living in the Woods with Täxt, episode 15. Sorry, it's episode 18. Yeah, 18. And so right now I just packed up my tent. I was sitting around and I realized, well, I gotta walk into town. And then I had to do all this. Went into walking a lot. And I realized if I go and I have a campsite down near my job and I go to racetrack, get some food and all that, and then I can take it back to my campsite really easy and just hang out at my campsite eating, and I'll be able to just get a lot more stuff to my campsite. And I know this place is pretty, but my feet just really hurt the whole day yesterday, so I've got to take it easy on my feet. And I had nothing much to do today, so I'm able to pack my stuff up. I'm gonna move down there. I'm just gonna leave a couple things here, so I'll get, I'm leaving the raincoat, my beach chair, the raincoat, and I got a pair of shoes and a pair of gloves under this dock that I need to get. And yeah, I'll just come back and clean this all up and make sure I don't leave anything other than this pallet behind. So I'll get back to you once I've moved into my new home. Alright, so I made it to the new spot. It wasn't too bad. I just had to switch shoulders, with my duffel bag over my shoulder. But yeah, I could definitely carry that duffel bag up to 10 miles if I had to do it. It's not the end of the world to move my site. So yeah, right here, and now I don't have my pallet. But all I have is my tent, duffel bag, and my pad on the inside. Sorry, I cover the phone with my finger all the time. Eventually that's going to end. There's going to be hundreds of these episodes. These are just the first episodes. Hundreds of episodes later, I'll probably have some cool stuff at my site. But yeah, I think this is pretty close to where my friend Brian used to stay, because I know he was really happy living out here instead of paying rent. Yeah, he was a drug addict, but he made way much more money than I did. And he definitely just didn't want to pay rent at one point. And now he's moved close to the beach, which I would love to live near the beach. And I've looked into it, but I think I would need to get another job out there. I'd have to save up some money. I would also need that solar panel, power supply, and an e-bike, all the expensive stuff. I would have to have just a full setup, but it's definitely possible to live along the beach homeless in a comfortable, civilized way, because there's a lot of state parks out there. And if you get an e-bike and you get that power supply, you can also get an inflatable boat that can actually have the carrying capacity for 600, 700 pounds. And so yeah, you could totally make a life living along the coast of Florida. But it's just a matter of, if you drink and smoke weed like me, then you're going to need a job. If you don't, then if you get all that stuff, you probably still want a job so you can replace it if it breaks. But you can also just go to food donation banks, and you could technically do all that without even having to have a job. But yeah, my new site, I'm going to have to keep an eye on these trees. A lot of trees fall down around here. This tree is definitely falling even pretty close to my tent and everything. But I had to just plop it down. I don't have time to fully survey every little area. I'll probably move up the hill over here into another spot that has shade. But I don't know these trails very well, and I got lost last time I was in here. But yeah, on my way here, I also got actually harassed by some dude that was out hanging out outside of his car. He looked probably like he was just drunk, and when he saw my duffel bag and everything, he started just talking shit about me being homeless and just making all these rude assumptions. And yeah, luckily I've been through a lot of that shit, so I don't waste my time trying to fight him and get arrested. No matter how much my instinct wants to do that, I knew just go to work, get your food, get your beer. And yeah, for lunch, pretty humble lunch today. I just got a Hot Pocket. My boss has a microwave at work, so I used that. And just getting yeah, I always like to eat chips with my meals, so Hot Pockets with some Takis. And for beer, for my lunch beer, I didn't have no morning beer. Trying not to do that. Now I'm next to work, so I'm gonna have to really try not to I'm gonna have to stay occupied in the morning, and it's okay to have one of these Corona Familiares for lunch, I would say. At least, you know, for me, I don't get really that drunk drinking these. Just give me a little buzz, fills me up a little bit, like food. So yeah, that's what I was in the mood for. And I like how I just have a tent and I have nothing here. You know, everything is just so simple and minimal right now. I can just pack it up in that duffel bag and I can just walk anywhere I want, plop my tent anywhere I want. I'm just bound to my job because my job is the most important thing throughout all of this. And so I don't know if I'll record anymore, but I'll see you soon.